A very good morning. This is Antoinette Nirvana, and you are listening to the Body and Mind Skype interviews. Body and Mind is your online health and wellness directory for professionals. Today, Body and Mind is chatting to beloved Anthea Torr. Good morning, Anthea. How are you doing?
Hi, Antoinette. Very well, thank you.
Good. Anthea, you share the teachings of the Ascended Masters. And before we kind of go on to what is the Ascended Masters and the teachings of the Ascended Masters, how did you get onto your journey? Tell us a little bit about, yourself and the path that you've traveled up until the point where you are now sharing these teachings with us.
Okay, I guess it was just a path of searching. I mean, certainly not in my early years, it wasn't, but after I sort of really started with intensity in my 30s, I was searching and searching. I went through many, many different avenues. I would go across continents, going to workshops and all sorts of things. Luckily, I had a beloved, wealthy husband, and he was very supportive and kind with it all. And then eventually, I think in Mercy, the beloved Ascended Masters, really after about 15 years of intensive searching, I received a one-liner and like an email in my inbox. It didn't say, "Dear Anthea, love anybody," but it just was a one-liner. And it said, "I think you should read the book, or you might enjoy reading the book, Unveiled Mysteries." And that immediately got my attention, and I straight away ordered it off Amazon. And I got the book, and that was the beginning. That was just, and I was like, a bolt of lightning came into me. And there's just, my whole life has now been dedicated to these teachings because they're from the Ascended Masters. They are just, they're quite extraordinary. Yeah. But I'll share more at the time. But
Yes.
and I've got two blessed children, and and actually, what happened was, eventually I knew that I had to move away. I had to get a divorce. Luckily, we're all still good friends, and everything was, is good. But I sold my property. I had a beautiful house in Nortok, but there were things that happened, and I knew it was time. It was almost like I was pushed into it, actually, even though I was, it was ready, really. But I sold the property in Nortok, and I bought a motorhome, and I had enough money, and my blessed older son has invested that for me in student accommodation, so I live off the rental income because the workshops are always free. Yeah.
Before all of this, you used to do quite a few products, organic products, and you also was an editor of a magazine. I mean, you've been doing this kind of work for humanity and for the earth for a very long time.
Yeah, I suppose it was all just a sort of a lead up, I was always concerned about the earth and the humanity as such. So yeah, I think it's just we all go along a path of awakening, and yeah, it was like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I can't wait for you to share with us your amazing knowledge that you share all over, not only Africa, which you've been traveling on as a single woman all over Africa. Now, when I say single, I know that you've got all the masters with you, as well as overseas as well, and you spreading this information, as you said, free of charge, and sharing this incredible messages. So please tell us, what is the Ascended Masters about? What is the teachings about? And tell us a little information about some of the Ascended Masters.
Okay, so the ascended masters are basically beings that have walked the earth like you and me, but they have become masters through their own application and their own basically self-control, self-correction, and the use of the light. And so they have become master of energy and vibration, and they abide in the ascended master realm. And Saint Germain, whose responsibility it is for the next 2,000 years, because every 2,000 years there's a new dispensation given to humanity. So 2,000 years ago we had the Christian dispensation. Then 2,000 years before that, there was the Moses and the Mosaic Law, and in between that, we had Buddha and the Eightfold Path, and then after that, after Jesus came in, we also had Muhammad coming in with there was just one God. So it's a whole stream of a really awakening, and what the dispensations are really about is to try and awaken mankind to the laws of life and their own God presence, which is the I am presence. And so there was a precursor, like if you go back to the time of Moses, when Moses was talking to the burning bush and getting the 10 Commandments, he said, "Who must I say is speaking?" And it was, "I am that I am." Then and that is the sacred name. That is my sacred name, God said in the bush. And then when Jesus came through, he prefaced all his statements, his famous statements, with "I am," but always said, "I of myself can do nothing." He never took it as himself. Unfortunately, what happened over the years is the humans get hold of it, and the things that Bible was translated and things changed, misunderstandings come in. So the true word of God is "I am," and it comes all the way from Alpha and Omega. That's our Father, Mother, God. I am Alpha, Omega, am. And those are the powerhouse. And we have been, misusing those words by the saying, "I am poor, I am sick, I am tired, I am cold, I am this and that." And so we decree for ourselves imperfect lives. So really what Saint Germain is really trying to do, and with the help of legions of light, especially now, because there's no question we are in the end times, whether we go back to the time, go back to the teachings from Revelations, Corinthians, in the Old Testament, in the Vedas, there's all the sacred texts are pointing to a time when there will be a kind of a line drawn in the sand, and there will be a division of humanity. And I think the Ascended Masters, we're at that time now. And the Ascended Masters are doing their very, very best, humanity having had thousands of lives, all of us, to wake up, literally. And there comes a time when the cosmic law will say no more misuse of the divine, pure energy, which comes from our mighty I Am presence, for misuse of life, wars, selfishness, greed, and all the rest of it. So, because as we sow, so we reap. It's an unavoidable, mathematically accurate law. People wonder why their lives are in disharmony, but actually it's purely their thoughts, feelings, words, and actions, and they're reaping those. And so, and it need not necessarily be from this life; it can be from other lives. But karma is coming back very fast now as the cosmic light is increasing and increasing on this planet, because this planet is going into the golden age, ready or not. We should be, much further ahead. But I think there's great hope, and there's amazing things actually happening behind the scenes, even in our political world, even though it might not appear so. But all over the world, I think there's extraordinary things happening, and we're on the brink of extraordinary times. I don't know whether that helped a bit.
Yeah, wow. You can just hear that you really embody this work and have been for a very long time. And, we are connected, you and I, for a long time. So I know your work, and I call you up from time to time to ask you a couple of things like, about twin flames or stuff like that. So I would like you to tell us a little bit more about, your workshops and your teachings, and how people can really get to know about. You've got websites where all of this is available. Where will you be next, and how can people follow, around Africa, the world, how to do these teachings?
Okay, so listen, there's not just me doing these teachings now. There's loads of people that are following the teachings. And the teachings came in the 1930s and the 1950s, and they are pure, and they're from the Ascended Masters. They came in, quite a lot of them, through golden letters of light. They didn't come in through channelings as we know today. And they also came in through literally a visible tube of light through which the Ascended Masters spoke. So there's thousands, hopefully actually millions millions that are aware of these teachings now. But if you go to my website, which is www.iamfree.co.za, and at the top you'll see free courses. And there I upload the courses, and courses are usually run over weekends, and they're basically just giving, because it's really a lifetime study, this, and it's a lifetime, change, and trying to actually become more and more in the light, behaving ways which bring in more light, and actually connecting with your I am presence and the ascended masters and the angelic kingdom, the elemental kingdom. So that's what I share over the weekend, really trying to explain to people the power of the God presence within them, and how we should be behaving and honoring this God presence, and really thy will, not mine. I mean, those famous words, thy will, not mine, and allowing the Christ self in each and every one of us to take command. And it's just, as I say to the people in the workshops, it's just basically a thin foundation. And then from there onwards, it's a study. You need to study the books, the words. The books are free online, because everything has to be free. There cannot be commerce involved in this. It's not a commercial activity at all. So, people will donate for the venue, but I'm privileged where I don't actually need any donations, because I live off the rental income, and I'm always provided for. It's just like that. When you ask, you get. Ask and you receive, if it's in divine order. So I hope that helped a little bit.
Yes, no,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, just if you could just repeat your website address, and then any other contact details that you would like to share, so that we can just make sure that everybody got those details, please.
Yeah, so the website is www.iamfree.co.za. And on that website, you will see, if you scroll down on the front page, you'll see the free book site. But on the top, you'll see free courses. Also, there's audio recordings of study groups. That we have study groups online every Wednesday. And the courses are run, and people are starting groups. I mean, there's a very strong, well-established group, as you know, Antoinette, we've been there, beloved, with the ones in Cape Town. But there's groups starting all over now, so it's really encouraging. And also to connect up with ones overseas, we're all sort of really connecting up now.
And great, super. So if they've missed any of that information, of course, they can go to the Body and Mind website, which is www.bodyandmind.co.za. And either in our little search bar, they can put in Anthea Torr or I Am Teachings, and either one of those will bring up a page which will then direct you to the website page that Anthea just mentioned to us. So that's it for today. I can't believe it's already, gone past 11 minutes, and it's gone very quick. So thank you very much for chatting today. And hopefully what we would like to do is maybe in the future, expand a little bit on each ascended master, and you can give some basic information, so that we can really keep the conversation going around what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, and I'd love to do that. I mean, I'd love to share more about the Ascended Masters.
Great.
And also, just to add, the last thing is, it's truly none of this information is mine. And that's why, you won't see my name on the website or anything, because it's just purely from the Ascended Masters and straight out the books
Yes.
that I trust. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, Anthea. Well, thank you again.
Oh, thanks,
and
Antoinette.
yeah, we're looking forward to having you back in Cape Town again, and keeping connected with you.
Okay, bless you. Thank you so much. Lots
Thank
of love
you.
to you.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.